You ejaculate and nothing comes out, or almost nothing, a tiny amount, when there used to be significantly more. And you're wondering if something is seriously wrong. Most men don't tell their doctor. They don't tell anyone. They just notice it happening and feel quietly terrified about what it means. Here's what's actually happening, why it happens, and when you need to be concerned versus when it's just a prostate issue that can be addressed. Because this specific symptom tells you more about your prostate health than almost anything else. First, understand what's supposed to happen. During ejaculation, your prostate contributes about 30% of total seminal fluid volume. The seminal vesicles contribute about 60%. The rest comes from other glands. Your prostate also controls the valve mechanism that prevents urine from mixing with semen and prevents semen from going backward into your bladder instead of forward. When everything works normally, these systems coordinate. Fluid production, valve timing, muscular contractions, all synchronized. But when your prostate enlarges or changes, multiple things can disrupt this coordination, and each disruption creates different patterns of what you experience. The most common cause is called retrograde ejaculation. This is when the valve that normally closes your bladder during ejaculation doesn't close completely. So instead of semen coming forward and out, it goes backward into your bladder. You still feel orgasm. The muscular contractions still happen, but little or nothing comes out because it's being redirected. This happens most commonly with prostate enlargement, because the enlarged tissue distorts the geometry of that valve mechanism. The valve doesn't seal properly. Physics takes over. Fluid follows the path of least resistance, which becomes backward instead of forward. You'll notice your urine is cloudy after ejaculation. That's the seminal fluid mixing with urine in your bladder. This isn't dangerous, but it indicates your prostate has grown enough to disrupt valve function. And that means other symptoms are likely present or coming. The second cause is reduced fluid production. As testosterone declines and prostate tissue changes, the glandular cells that produce prostatic fluid become less active. They don't produce as much volume. Meanwhile, your seminal vesicles might also reduce output if blood flow to that region decreases. The result: everything is coming forward like it should, but there's just less volume being produced. So you see a small amount instead of the volume you remember from earlier years. This happens gradually. Most men don't notice it's decreasing until it becomes dramatically less. Then suddenly they realize, this used to be much more. This pattern suggests vascular health issues affecting the entire pelvic region. Because seminal vesicle function depends heavily on adequate blood supply. The third possibility is partial blockage. Your prostate contains dozens of tiny ducts that carry prostatic fluid into the urethra. When inflammation occurs, or when prostate tissue becomes overgrown, these ducts can become partially or fully blocked. Fluid is being produced. It's trying to come forward, but the pathways are obstructed, so only a small amount gets through. This often comes with other symptoms: discomfort during ejaculation, a sense of incomplete release, sometimes pain in the perineum area afterward. If you're experiencing this pattern, inflammation is likely present, and that's worth addressing specifically because chronic inflammation accelerates prostate growth. Comment below which pattern sounds most like what you're experiencing, because understanding which mechanism is causing this changes what approaches make sense. Now here's the critical part most men don't understand about this symptom. Reduced ejaculate volume isn't just about reproduction or sensation. It's a direct window into prostate health status, and it often appears before other symptoms become genuinely disruptive. If you're experiencing this and want to understand natural approaches that some men have found helpful for supporting prostate function and ejaculatory health, I've linked a resource below. It covers what research shows about supporting the glandular tissue and vascular function that affect these symptoms. Not magic solutions, just information about what actually influences these biological systems. Here's what makes this symptom particularly important as an early warning sign. Most prostate symptoms develop gradually. Weak stream, frequency, nighttime waking. They creep up slowly enough that men adapt without realizing how much has changed. But ejaculatory changes are dramatic. You can't slowly adapt to nothing coming out. You notice immediately, which means this symptom often brings men to awareness of prostate issues earlier than other symptoms would. And that's actually valuable, because the earlier you address prostate health, the more options you have. The more responsive things are to natural approaches, the easier it is to prevent progression to where medication or surgery become necessary. So while this symptom feels alarming, it's actually your body giving you clear, undeniable feedback that something needs attention now rather than 5 years from now when symptoms are much worse. Now, when should you be genuinely concerned versus when is this just a prostate issue? If this change happened suddenly, overnight, that's different from gradual reduction over months. Sudden change needs medical evaluation quickly to rule out other issues. If you have pain, blood, or burning with ejaculation, that's not just prostate enlargement. That suggests infection or inflammation that needs treatment. If you're under 50 and experiencing this, that's unusual enough to warrant thorough evaluation, because prostate issues typically develop later. But if you're over 60, this developed gradually, there's no pain or blood, and you recognize other prostate symptoms, this is most likely related to prostate changes that can be addressed. What actually helps? For retrograde ejaculation from prostate enlargement, addressing the prostate size often improves valve function over time. Natural approaches that reduce inflammation and slow growth can help. For reduced production from vascular issues, improving cardiovascular health affects seminal vesicle function. Exercise, particularly resistance training, supports hormone production that maintains glandular activity. For duct blockage from inflammation, approaches that reduce prostate inflammation specifically can reopen those pathways. The research on certain natural compounds shows promise here. The key is understanding which mechanism is operating. That determines what approach makes most sense for your specific situation. Most men experiencing this never mention it to anyone. They just quietly worry and wonder if it means something terrible. But this symptom isn't mysterious. It has clear biological causes, and most of those causes are addressable, especially when caught early. Your prostate is communicating clearly. Reduced ejaculate volume, especially dramatic reduction, means prostate function has changed enough to affect these mechanisms. That's information. Use it. Drop a comment. Are you experiencing this? How long has it been happening? You'll be surprised how many other men are dealing with the exact same thing and never talking about it. The resource about natural support for prostate and ejaculatory function is below if you want more detailed information. But whether you look at that or not, talk to your doctor about this specifically. Don't just mention prostate symptoms generically. Say, my ejaculate volume has decreased dramatically. What does that tell you about what's happening? Most doctors will take that more seriously than vague complaints about frequency or weak stream, because this symptom indicates the prostate has changed enough to disrupt specific mechanical functions. Let me know in the comments what questions you have. I read everyone.